Christian Hodger out of Brantford, Ontario, wears number 13, and Ryan Norris wears number 14. Starters for the Tommies, 5, Marcus Wilson. Back-to-back 20-plus points games for Wilson. Evan Villain out of Miramichi, 5th-year player, wears 9. CJ Hansen out of Manchester, England, 6'6", wears 10. 15, Caleb Schulten, 2nd-year player out of Fredericton High School, and Jevin Eddy out of Ajax, Ontario, Oak Hill Academy, St. Mary's Secondary, and UNB for Jevin. They are the starting 5. The Tommies, the home whites, and the Mounties in the road blacks. Villain against Norris on the tip. Norris with a false start there. It is the law form of Whipple, Wilton, and Roshaw charged with making sure all goes according to Hoyle and the official rules of basketball in this one. Underway with a Marcus Wilson quick score. Next alternating position as Hadger scores will go to the MTA Mounties. Villain. Blocking foul, it might be Mombriquette. Instead, it's Monroe. First foul of the game on Jonas Monroe. Schulten nowhere to go outside Hansen. Wilson, back for Hansen. Jevin Eddy inside, rebounded by Hadger. Picked off by Hansen. Showtime, a little dunk there for CJ Hansen. 4-2 Tommies. Mombriquette right down the lane for 2. Got to be careful touching that ball after it goes through the bucket, though. Gonna delay a game warning for doing that. Schulten with a finish inside. 6-4 Stu. I think Mountie matches up well with this Tommies team. Norris picked off by Schulten. Off for Marcus Wilson. Laura tracks down a board. Off for Mombriquette. Monroe stepped through. Right at Villain for 2 points. 6-6. Hansen for Jevin Eddy. Eddy's going to go against Mombriquette, and Eddy scores 2. I love the workmanlike nature of Jevin Eddy's game, even watching him in warm-up. He's taking the shots that he's going to get in a game. He's staying within himself. We love the addition to Jevin Eddy in this Tommies program. And Mombriquette for 2. Hickey wants timeout, not happy with the start from his Tommies from a defensive perspective. (8-8) here in the early going. As I said, I think, and I said it talking to a few people before the game, I think this Mountie squad, on a matchup for matchup basis, matches up quite well with Stu. Stu can't get into an individual game here. Got to continue to play the team ball they played all weekend long. And the Mounties I think are better than what they've shown in their first couple of games here. Hickey, Coach on a little bit of the drill sergeant approach there in the Tommy huddle. A little bit fitting as the Tommy coaching staff in there. Sailor-like uniforms today, those black tops with the white trim kind of look like Navy unis. There's a three from CJ Hansen, put the Tommies up 3. Bawara on Schulten. Bawara right to the rim for 2 points. Eddie's going to back down Montbriquet. Spin, try it off the glass, rebound. Ager. Oh, but that's a bounce pass right into the hands of Jevin Eddy. Eddy will dribble, find Schulten. Now Evan Villain against Jonas Monroe, and that's 2 on Monroe. Actually just goes 1 on Monroe. Is that the first foul? Second one up on the board. That one on number 13. On Hadger instead of Monroe. Hansen tries another 3. It doesn't go, but Eddy is there for the rebound. CJ Hansen baseline catch. Outside for Wilson. Wilson draws foul, will shoot 2. Subs coming in here, 3 for the Tommies. Gimby is 13, Lands is 8, and Duel is 6. Villain and Wilson stay. And I think that's Deverex who's into the game for Mount Allison. It is indeed. Wilson makes it a 3-point contest, 13-10. Hadger for Montbriquet. Bawara with a board. And an offensive foul on Bawara. Mountie bench not enthralled with that call. Hadger takeaway, Bawara mid-court. And Bawara fouled. Gimby or Duel. It's going to go on Duel. Deverex. Hadger. Bawara. Right to the bucket. Bawara fouls Wilson. That's going to be the second on Bawara, I believe. is 2 on Bawara. Bawara goes out. Monroe comes back in with the 1 foul. Wilson on the line to shoot again. The Tommies up 1, 5:30 to go. First quarter, and already in the bonus. 5 fouls on Mount A. Hadger doing some early gardening here, toes in the tulips. Out of bounds on the end line. Gimby, tough time collecting the pass, but keeps it under control. Off for Lands, back for Wilson. 5 to shoot, Lands. Villain has to put one up. It did find rim, but rebound Deverex. 1 dribble for Montbriquet. Back for Deverex. Hadger with a miss. Gimby on the board, off for Wilson. Tricky dribble for Wilson. Wilson, Gimby, 3-pointer is no good. Rebound fought for, out of bounds, off of Mount Allison. Kwame Asidu set to check in for Mount A. 14 on the shot clock. Zach Duell can't get that one to go. Ryan Norris on the board. Back for Norris. Norris can shoot it from 3. It has some pretty deep range. Montbriquet athletic take to the bucket. Villain on the rebound. Pushed out of play by Deverex, and it's Monroe on the score. Tommy's looking for a foul on that far side. Wilson into a sea of black shirts, and a block called on Montbriquet. First foul on Montbriquet. And that's Doucette, number 12. Coming in, Trevor Doucette, 6'5" center out of Dieppe and Moncton High School. Doucette and Gimby will be a likely matchup here. Gimby's going to guard Norris, and Wilson going to guard Doucette. A lot of fingers pointing in different directions over there, but it's going to be Tommy's ball. The only one that matters is the official. Norris, tight defense on Schulten, and Schulten gets a step on Norris. Villain thought about shooting. Instead, it's out for Schulten. 10 to shoot. Schulten space. Rises. Rebound Doucette. Doucette for Deverex. Inside Doucette. Back out. Asidu. Through the hands of Monroe. Jevanetti set to check back in, and here he comes. For Evan Villain. Riverlands. Kick for Schulten. Three-pointer no good. Rebound tipped into the hands of Doucette. Off for STU. Norris. That's out of bounds off the basket support wire. (16-14), 2:37 to go first quarter. Schulten dives for that one. Lands, picks up the ball, and calmly crosses half. Screen from Eddie. 12 seconds as the Tommies run offense. Gimby can't get it to go. Rebound Doucette, off for Norris. Asidu for Doucette. And Doucette gets the offensive board. And that one doesn't go either for Doucette. Gimby for Duel. Gimby fakes a three, now drives and scores two. Blown down here. I think we've got a issue with the clock. Shot clock not reset or not started. And a bunch of ins and outs. Tommy's first look at Noah Boudreau, number 4 in this tournament. Schulten, Hansen, Boudreau, Eddie, and Riverlands. Deverex, Asidu, Montbriquet. Doucette and Monroe. Tommies with a score inside. Final minute of the first quarter. A little shake and bake from Monroe. He gives it up to Kwame Asidu. Deverex, 10-footer, no good. Doucette gets that rebound alive for Mount A. Doucette gets it back inside and gets that one to go over Jevon. And now Eddie goes to work against Doucette and draws a foul. And Doucette says, can't believe that's not butter. Also can't believe that's a foul. Eddie with a make on the first. Second one short. Eddie puts it up again and it doesn't go. A little tough luck offensive end for Jevon. Montbriquet with 10 seconds left in the quarter. Asidu. Montbriquet, Boudreau almost had a steal. Montbriquet rises, shoots, rims out, rebound CJ Hansen. Hansen long chuck. And it's 2018 STU after the first. The Mounties 18 points, 9 of 18 shooting, that's 50%. 0 of 5 beyond the arc. They haven't gotten to the free throw line. The Tommies 20 points, 7 of 18 from the field for 39%. 1 of 7 beyond the arc, that's 14%. 5 of 8 from the free throw line. 6 turnovers for the Mounties, 3 for the Tommies. Rebounding edge 11-7 for Mount A. Mount A with 7 fouls, the Tommies with only 1. Leaders after the first quarter, Montbriquet 6 for Mount A, Bawara 4, Monroe 4, Doucette and Hager 2 each. 2 fouls on Bawara. Nobody else with more than 1. For the Tommies, it's Marcus Wilson with 7, CJ Hansen 5, Jevin Eddy 4, Gimby and Schulten 2 each. And the only Tommy foul went on Zach Duell. That's your quarter 1 recap. Tommy send out Boudreau, Villain, Hansen, Schulten, and Eddy. Edger, Monroe, Montbriquet, Norris, and Deverex. Hadger ties us at 20. Caleb Schulten off to Noah Boudreau. Boudreau shot off the mark, out of bounds off of STU. Mounties can take a lead with a score on this trip. Montbriquet tries Eddy. Monroe keeps the rebound alive. And out of bounds off of Lane. It's behind a post for me. I couldn't see the play, but just judging by the official's call. Hadger. Didn't realize we were late in the shot clock as we were there. We beat the buzzer but couldn't score. Tommy's looking to break a 20-all tie here this trip. Villain turnaround is good for 2. Evan Villain and Jonas Monroe. Very familiar foes here, both fifth-year players. Norris, too long, Deverex on the loose ball. 5 to shoot, Monroe against Villain. Villain picks up a foul, and Villain can't believe it. First foul on Villain will send Monroe to the line. Monroe last season, 16 points, 8.5 rebounds, 2 assists or thereabouts a game, the team's leading scorer last season. 75% free throw shooter, that probably means this will be a jinx and he'll probably miss. No, there it is, it went through. Hansen for 3. Tommies +4. Offensive foul on Hadger. In for Eddie. Eddie for Villain, who scores 2. Bawara has checked back in for Mount A. Monroe gets to the bucket for 2. And I see Hudson McGregor out there. I didn't see him sub in. We'll pick up a foul there on the Evan Villain bucket. Should just reset everyone here. Mombercat coming in for the Mounties for Norris. So Mombercat, McGregor, Hadger, Monroe, and Bawara. And for the Tommies, Villain, Hansen, Schulten, Wilson, and Eddie. Wilson flies by. Rebound into the hands of Eddie. Off for Villain. Villain lead pass. Too strong. Eddie out and Gimby in. Mombercat kicks, Hadger. Can't get that one to drop. Villain. Wilson. 3 ball goes. Timeout. Mitch Weber and the Mount Allison Mounties. Tommies push the lead to 10 with that last score. We were tied at 20, so it's a 13-3 run. Ahead for Mombercat. Scores over Cam Evans. Evans duel Villain, Wilson, and Gimby out of the timeout for STU. Duel fouled. Shooting a 3-pointer, I think. We are going to shoot 3, says crew chief Matt Whipple. And Bawara, Asidu, Monroe, Mombercat, and McGregor. The 5 Mounties on the court. 1 out of 2 so far for Dual. Ten-point lead restored. STU Bawara tries a 3, makes a 3. Cam Evans shoots the 3, left it well short. Into the hands of Monbriquette. Off for Gimby on the steal, taken away behind by Monroe. Ahead for Monbriquette for 2. What was 10 is now 5. 2-possession game. Tommies with the ball in the front court. Gimby can't collect a rebound. Acedo ahead for Monbriquette, and suddenly it's a 1-possession game. Dual bothered by Monbriquette. Wilson goes to the basket, fouled by McGregor. Comes River Lands in for Evan Villain. That foul goes on Bawara, not McGregor. That's going to be 3 on Bawara. And Bawara is going to have to come out and have a seat on the bench. 4:41 to go here first half. Wilson pushes the lead up to 4. Make it 5. Monbriquette back to Hadger, down low. Monroe cross court, Monbriquette. McGregor, Acedo. Rebound Dual. Cam Evans hands it off to Marcus Wilson. Back for Evans. Evans keeps that time, 6 to shoot. Dual for Evans. Evans shoots a 3. Front rim there, lands. Can't get the rebound. And here's Monbriquette against Evans. A couple of former FHS teammates there. Maybe would they have overlapped at FHS, Monbriquette and Evans? I think a little bit. Gimby on the line. Lands was short on that 3-pointer. Acedo, McGregor. 3-pointer is good. whistle here. Allow some subs in and see what that whistle was all about. CJ Hansen loses the handle. Eddie lands duel Hansen and Schulten for the Tommies. Monroe, Momberket, McGregor, Hadger, and Norris for Mount A. Schulten works a turnover for Duel. Duel blocked off the glass. Is going to call that a goaltend. And a little bit more of the icky shuffle here as Dan Wilton goes to work with the towel to clean up some of the moisture on the floor. Hadger fouled by Lands. Jeremy Corey up off the bench. For the Tommies. Hadger front rim. And back rim. Rebound bounced into the hands of Hadger. Out of bounds to Stu. A couple of Tommies down working the floorboards to get that ball. The type of hustle Coach Hickey is looking for. Long two from Caleb Schulten. It's going to be a double dribble. Ball stuck on the shoulder that time. Sure what we had a horn for that time. Scorer's table talking about something. Momberket runs into Schulten. Schulten comes out of his shoes. And offensive foul on Momberket. Out of all that, we're going to wait till Schulten can knot up the Nikes again, or whatever brand he might be wearing. Eddie, a post catch knocked away by Monroe. And Monroe lost the handle. Minute to play, first half. Tommies are up 7. Hansen inside for Eddie. Rejected by Mombriquette. 8 to shoot, Hansen. Looking for Correa, and instead, it's Hager with a slam. Inside for Eddie. Eddie fouled and will shoot 2. That's going to be Monroe. Important 30 seconds here in this contest. Chance for the Tommies to close strong and build on the lead. Chance for the Mounties to close strong and cut the lead. Couple possession game into the second half. Makes a big difference. Lead now 7. Stop and score would be massive for STU. And just the opposite would be really good to see if you're a Mounties fan. There's the stop by STU. Eddie for Schulten. There's the score, and it's a 3-ball. What a swing to end the half for the Tommies. They go in up 10. When you thought the dunk from Hadger might be a little momentum builder for Mount A going into the second half, it's the Tommies to close with 5 straight points. One back in 15 minutes for the second half. A couple minutes before that, I'll run down the stats. See you then. It's going to be the final half from the Ken Gould. Hi fans, welcome back to the LB Gym. Last half of basketball here at the Ken Gould Invitational Tournament. Host Tommy men up 10, 47-37 on the Mount Allison Mounties. Your halftime stats. Tommies take the first quarter 20-18, the second quarter 27-19. Mounties 37 points on 50% shooting, 17 of 34. 2 of 11 beyond the arc, 1 of 4 from the line. Tommy's really making hay from the free throw line. 13 of 18 for 72%. That's plus 12 right there. They've actually made fewer field goals on one fewer attempt. 15 of 34 and 4 of 13 from three-point land. 11 turnovers for the Mounties, 8 for STU. Rebounding slight edge for Mount A, 19-15. Individual stats, Mount A led by Mombriquette, who has 12 points. Bawara and Monroe, 7 each. Foul trouble for the Mounties. There's a lot of them with crooked numbers. Mombriquette 2, Bawara 3. Monroe 2, Hadger has 2, McGregor has 2. And for STU, Marcus Wilson leads them with 18 points. Hansen has 8, Villain and Schulten 7 each. And there's nobody with a crooked number in the foul column for STU. Villain with 1, Duel with 1, and Lands with 1. And say 2 for STU, no more fouls in the Tommy column. Tommies close the half well. Just when you thought the Hager dunk was going to give the Mounties a rise toward the end of the half. Instead, it was the Tommies pushing the lead up to 10 and a chance to go higher here as it's Tommy ball to start the second half. Wilson, Schulten, Eddy, Villain, and Hansen. Bawara, Norris, Monroe, Mombriquette, and Hadger. That's Villain working inside, stripped by Monroe. Mombriquette was trying to feed Bawara. Hansen got a hand on it, but it's out off the Mounties. Great hustle back by Hansen that time. Hansen can use that athletic ability to play that kind of defense, give that effort. That'll win him a place in Coach Hickey's heart. Wilson fake, deflected by Mombriquette into the hands of Norris. Bawara back for Norris. Around the outside, Mombriquette, extra pass, Monroe. Rebound for the Tommies. Villain has space and scores 2. Lead up to 12. Double dribble. Bawara and Hadger. Said it earlier, and I said it to some fans before the game. I think when this Mountie team gets some more time together, the new faces here in key roles, they will gel a little bit more. Giovanetti on the offensive glass, and a steady Eddy puts it back up and in for 2. Jevin with a deflection there. Five-second count. It felt like a fast 5 for me, but I think referee Dan Wilton was counting it off there. Hansen and Hedger, and now Norris in with a push after the play. And Norris shaking the hand after the push after the play. The push after the play seemed to be uncalled for, I thought. Referees are going to get together and talk about this one. Not even sure what the original call on the court is at this point. I think it's Mounties' ball, but we're left with a 10-second shot clock. I think a jump ball situation is what's being called here. Did think there was an extra push after the play was out of bounds by Norris. On Hansen that could merit consideration for an unsportsmanlike call. Coaches are coming in. We're going to discuss this one. Crew Chief Matt Whipple here, bringing both John Hickey and Mitch Weber in. Technical foul goes on C.J. Hansen. And technical foul on Hedger. And an unsportsmanlike foul on Norris. Officials booked everyone, and I think that's the right thing to do. Definitely had to book Norris on the push after the fact. But they also gave technical fouls to Hansen and Hedger. They count as personals as well. And out of that, it's going to be Tommy's ball. Schulten makes him pay with a triple. Rebound Hansen, skies for the ball. Long pass for Marcus Wilson. Tommies will set some offense. Nice pass inside for Schulten. Nice delivery from Giovanetti. Lead has exploded to 20. Was 10 at half. Montbriquet can't get it to go down. Wilson for Villain. Villain can't get it to go off the glass. Eddie fights for the rebounds. Couple of Tommies behind the play. And the Mounties are slowed up enough to allow them to get back in the defensive end. Montbriquet. Good drive, but can't finish it. Wilson on the rebound. Wilson pulls up, shoots a three. That one is short. Not sure the Tommies like that shot selection. Bawara bothered by Wilson, and Wilson's going to draw a foul. By the time you swing your arm that much, it's a foul. And I think Coach Hickey is saying, hey, that's not the one we want down there at that end. Bawara looking to cut into a 20-point Tommy lead. And the Tommies 16 and a half minutes from going perfect here in their host tourney. That one rattles through for Bawara. 18-point lead. Long way to go yet in this one. Mounties ample firepower to come back from 18 at this point. Eddy, Evan Villain. Monroe tips the pass away. 4 on the shot clock as the Tommies will inbound. Sideline corner. Villain's going to have to catch and throw here, 2 to shoot. Said he was looking for Eddy. Lands and DeVries set to come in for Stu. And here's Marcus Wilson by himself for a slam. I think the Tommies were looking for, or pardon me, the Mounties were looking for travel. I don't think they're real happy about Marcus Wilson, who I said last night, stepping into the role that Noah McCarthy played for a couple years here for Stu. That is the villain for the opposition. Lead is back up to 20 on that dunk. Timeout, Mounties. Mounties inbound. Hadger and Bawara in the backcourt. Monroe, Marquette, Norris await them in the front. There's Monroe. Jonas Monroe hasn't been able to get it smoking here this weekend. Out of bounds off Villain. Shot clock issue here. Pretty sure that just rimmed out, so this should be pretty high shot clock. It should be like 12 seconds or 13 seconds, I would think. Go back to 14, in fact. I'm pretty sure that was just off a rim. Rebound inside there for Monroe. That's the type of weekend he's had. He's almost a guarantee he scores that 95% of the time. DeVries picks up a foul. His first. Norris inside Montbriquet. He's going to be fouled by Wilson. Team fouls on the Tommies this quarter. 3 on Mount Allison. Montbriquet, a miss from the stripe. Make on the second. Wilson for DeVries. DeVries can't get the layup to go in. Hadger for Bawara and the score. Miss a lay-in at one end. A lot of the time it results in a lay-in at the other. Bamiasidu set to check in. Hadger to the bench. Wilson on Asidu, doubled. There's Villain to help. Inside duel for DeVries. And DeVries Coach Hickey says, hey, stop dribbling, go up and slam that home. Go strong with that ball. DeVries makes them both. 19-point lead. 61-42, just under 5 to play here in the third quarter, which has been a slower quarter. A number more whistles here. Monroe mugged underneath, and now Monroe is tied up by Villain. Monroe pulled away from the officials. He's wondering why he wasn't given the benefit of the contact against him, and then it gets called the other way. I think an argument to be made on that one. Villain makes them both. Tommy's now in the bonus. Last two fouls have gone on Mount A. Norris. Free ball is good. Villain from 10 feet puts it through. 65-45. Asidu calls out a play, guarded by Duel. And backcourt. Kwame Asidu got the toes on the half-court line. Monroe comes out. Deverex checks in for Mount A. Cam Evans is in for Stu. Evans for Duel. DeVries. Back out for Caleb Schulten to beat the shot clock. No rim, but it's already in the hands of Ryan Norris. So we'll keep playing. Bawara wanted the ball there from Asidu. Deverex. Asidu. Deverex, Mombriquette. Mombriquette fouled, I believe, by DeVries or Evans. Their time at FHS, I think, would overlap as well. DeVries and Mombriquette. Sometimes lose track of the years, though. More likely DeVries and Mombriquette than Mombriquette and Evans, at least at the varsity level. Quinn DeVries makes a three. Bawara, a whirling dervish, draws a foul. Bawara is going to say, hey, I'm shooting. He's going to be shooting anyway because it's bonus. Couple subs here. Hadger in and Doucette will be for Bawara. Norris to the bench. Second one rims out for Bawara. 68-47. Scholten to step on Deverex for DeVries. Loose ball on the floor. It's Cam Evans that comes up with it for Zach Duell. Ahead for Simba Bawara. A score for Bawara. And Bawara with some talk to the Tommy bench. Hadger gets to the bucket but can't finish. Evans goes to work and scores two out of over STU. Evans, second-year player with the Tommies. Gimby and Hansen set to check in. Next stoppage for Stu. Out off the Mounties. Bland, Scholten, Evans, Hansen, and Gimby. Doucette, Mombercat, Hadger, Asidu, and Deverex. The Tommies and Mounties respectively. Gimby. Back for Lands. Lands, 7 to shoot, scores 2. Hansen on the rebound. Hansen finds Evans for Scholten. Back for Evans. Inside Gimby. Knocked out of bounds, or lost out of bounds by the Tommies, we'll say. 30 seconds to go, third quarter. Tommies up 25. Remember, we were tied at 20 at one point in this one. Doucette has played well here today. Minutes haven't been massive. 7 seconds, Scholten goes to work. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, blocked. Evans tries to put one up, and that's out of bounds. It's going to be a 23-point Tommy lead, 74-51. So since that 20-all tie, it is 54-31. Stu?
And I will refresh the online stats, give you the rundown. That quarter goes 27-14 in favor of the Tommies. So back-to-back 27-point quarters for STU. Mounties 51 points, 21 of 48 from the field. 13 of 17 from three-point land, 6 of 12 from the line. So the Mounties finally got to the line a little bit that quarter. But it is the Tommies, 74 points on 25 of 50, and even 50%. That's a great field goal percentage. 6 of 17 from beyond the arc, 35%. 18 of 24 from the line. So they've gotten to the line with regularity. Turnovers, it is the Mounties with 16, the Tommies 13. Rebounds have evened up at 25 each. Bench points, the Tommies 18-7. And points in the paint almost even. Mounties led by Bawara and Montbriquet, each with 14. Monroe with 7. And foul trouble, Bawara 3, Montbriquet 2, Monroe 3, Hadger 2, McGregor 2, Norris 3. And for STU, they are led by Marcus Wilson with 14, Evan Villain with 13. Caleb Scholten has 12. Foul trouble, Wilson 2, Quinn DeVries 3. Barring a major comeback here from the Mounties, this is the final quarter of Ken Gould against the final quarter inning. We just do a 5-minute overtime period after that. Tommies 10 minutes away from a 3-0 record in their host tournament. Gimby with the extra pass to Lands. Scholten open in the corner for a 3. That rimmed out, but it's Jevon Eddy on the boards. Eddy with Lands, Gimby, Scholten, and Hansen to start the quarter. Knocked out of bounds. Hadger, Norris, McGregor, Monroe, and Doucette are the Mountie personnel. Hansen deep 3, late in the shot clock. Monroe to the bucket. Doesn't draw a call on that one either. And here's Hansen for Eddy, who finishes off glass for 2 points. So yeah, the more I see Jevon Eddy, the more I'm going to enjoy watching him play here this year with STU. That's Eddy there. Fouled by Monroe. Jevon just seems unfazed by absolutely anything going on out there. Love that steady approach. Lands with a 3. Lead is up to 28. Hadger high off glass for 2. Lands into traffic's going to draw a foul, and he's going to shoot. Block on Doucette. Second team foul on Mount A. Second foul on Doucette. What I think the Mounties might need to do is I think they might need to find who's going to be the lead distributor on that club. Seem to have several guys who want the ball and want to go to the bucket with it. And I think maybe if they can find someone who's going to give it up more than keep it from themselves, share it with their teammates, particularly get a guy like Monroe involved and open for some shots, get his confidence up, and get playing in a team concept here. They might be better off, just my view of them after 3 games or so. There's Hudson McGregor. Certainly a team full of guys who can score and some pretty good athletes. They can put the hands in somebody, ball in the hands of somebody who will go distributor first. There's another shot first approach for Mount A. Monroe attacks the bucket off the rebound and scores. Not saying that they're not all capable scorers. Do set out, here comes Mombriquette in. .7:35 on the game clock. Subs coming in here. Wilson and Coria in for Lands and Hansen for STU. Here's Monroe on the line. Front rim. You just see the frustration on Monroe. Monroe with a make. A foul on Norris, and that's going to be 4. Clock didn't move there. It was at 7:35 when they reset it after that last play. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there clockwise, but there should be some time have ticked off that. Now we're going to go down to 7:31. And 20 on the shot clock. Clock not moving again. There it goes. 3-point made by the Tommies, always busy watching the clock. Some of the gear here in the building is old, so there'll be some gremlins in it appearing. Scholten corrals a rebound. Gimby for Wilson. Inside Eddie. Bounce pass for Coria. Didn't connect. 6:54 on the clock. Timeout Mount A. Great time as any to tell you about the start of the ACAA schedule. Next weekend we've got some volleyball action here. Regular season gets underway. Go Tommies.ca if you're a Tommies fan. Check out the times for that. I'll get ready for that sometime next week. I'm not sure who's in Saturday and Sunday. Pretty sure St. Anne is here. And I think MSVU is the other women's opponent that weekend. So I'll sort that out next week. Basketball gets underway the weekend after November 1st. Mount St. Vincent in here at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, women and men on Saturday the 1st. Tommies will then host UKC at 1 and 3 on Sunday the 2nd. Mount Allison will start their home season, women at 2, men at 4, Sunday the 2nd, hosting the Hurricanes of Holland College. MountyPride.ca, GoTommies.ca. All your information on the athletic departments of both of these schools. ACA.ca for all your scores, schedules, and other pertinent updates for all your league information if you're a fan of another school and checking in. Let you look those up. And now the clock was running a little bit after that whistle. Reset now. And back running again. Eddie, high post against Montbriquet. Eddie goes to work, but Montbriquet clears the board. Norris. Three-pointer is nothing but nylon. Lead down to 25 with 6 to play. Wilson miss on a drive, rebound Montbriquet. Montbriquet, Hadger inside Monroe. He's open. And a miss inside again for Monroe. Someone's put a lid on that bucket every time Jonas taking a shot here. Couldn't buy a bucket with $1 million right now. Jonas Monroe, he's way better of a player than the luck has provided him here this afternoon. You know that'll turn around. He can easily find himself on an all-star team this year. There's Monroe, gets it back. And can't score on that side either. Might be time just for the Mounties to bring Monroe out. Wilson can't score there, rebound Norris. Monroe for 3. That one doesn't fall either for Monroe. Unusual. Cam Evans gets 2 on the dish from Caleb Schulten. Simbabora back in for Mount A, leaves that for Ryan Norris. Norris to the bucket and scores. Say the Mounties got a number of capable scorers here. Here comes Monroe out, Montbriquet out. Luke Riley out of FHS in. And Gabe Powder. Might be the first look at Powder today. Not entirely sure. Schulten for Land scores 2. Caleb Schulten, a couple dishes, and it's timeout Mounties. Regardless of who's on the floor, they want them getting back on defense. Just a tough weekend here for Mount Allison. A couple minutes away from taking a third straight game on the chin here in the preseason tournament. A team that, if I recall correctly, was on the outside looking in at the playoffs last year and don't want to repeat that this season. Added a fair bit of talent. Matter of getting it all together here.
Under 4 to play, Bawara into the front court. Bawara catch, high off glass, scores 2 points. Bawara slips. Trying to get up. Back into play now, Evans against Norris. Outside lands for 3 is good. And now we're going to blow the whistle and dry that off down at the other end. Noah Bedreau in for Caleb Schulten with 3:25 to play. Coria, Boudreau, Lands, Duel, and Evans. Dan Wilton, maybe the last Mickey shuffle here of the Ken Gould. Building has been fairly cool. Norris out and Doucette in. Be back to the drawing board at practice this week for Mount A. Pretty good coaching staff there to sort things through. Deverex. Nothing doing. Luke Riley tries a long shot. Deverex. Doucette back for Deverex. Hope for Bawara. Too strong on a 3-point attempt. Coria goes right to the bucket. Rebound pulled away. Doucette, Powder, and Deverex. Rebound Riley back outside Doucette. That is a 3-pointer. That is good. (91-66). Tommies. Ball tipped out. It's going to stay Tommy's basketball. Quinn DeVries in for Zach Duel. DeVries guarded by Deverex. Coria. 3-2 to shoot. Coria is going to put one up. That one doesn't go. Knocked out of bounds, I thought, by DeVries, yes. Bawara can't make the 3. It bounces out of play. Over to the Tommies, 1:44 to go. The Tommies will go 3-0 here in the Ken Gould tournament. They'll match the Tommy women's team. 2 weeks, it all counts for real. That's out off of Lands. Good defense for Deverex. Bawara coming out. And McGregor checking in. We close out the final minute 33 here of this matchup. Luke Riley fouled on his way to the bucket. Riley makes them both.
Correa tries a three. That doesn't go through. Nice take there by Doucette. Correa for DeRees. Final minute of play. Back for Correa. Tees up a three-pointer. Left that short, but DeRees tracks down the rebound. Back for Correa. Correa for Evans. 6 to shoot. Evans stepped back, left it well short. Over to Mount A with 34.7 on the clock here. Wrap up quickly here when we're done. Thanks for tuning in all weekend long. It's been a great weekend. Learned a lot about where teams are. Learned a lot of the players in the league. Had a lot of fun being here and reconnecting with fans as always. Thanks for tuning in online. Thanks to everyone at St. Thomas Athletics Ravenel. Truly is a privilege to sit here in my perch at the pit for all of this action. Tommies will dribble it over half, shut off the shot clock, and dribble this out. Tommies 3-0, the Mounties 0-3 here at the Ken Gould. Mounties will have to find something to build upon. That's going to go out of bounds, but we're just going to let that run out. Next weekend, volleyball. Weekend after on the 1st. Basketball starts for real here on Tommy's Court Sports. For everyone here at St. Thomas and the always amazing Alice in the producer's chair, who's had to listen to me rattle on for 4 games a day over the last 3 days. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you, each and every one. Come on back in a couple weeks when basketball starts the regular season. Thanks, folks.